So this time, instead of seeing the daily life of Tendo, we go back to episode 3's cliffhanger and figure out exactly what happened. So, apparently, you know how episode 3 left us with a lot of misunderstandings? Like, all the characters, they were having misunderstandings. They're like, oh, you must be in a relationship with so-and-so, you must be in a relationship with this dude or this girl, you know, back and forth. Well, episode 5 complicates that even more. And once again, I just want to reinstate the fact that this series is definitely something I didn't expect it to be. When I started this series, I figured it was going to be about, you know, gaming tournaments, going to professionals, stuff like that, because the title of this series is called Gamers. And in reality, the title definitely doesn't lie, because all the characters are gamers, they all love games, and so the title's not necessarily lying, it's very misleading, and in a lot of cases, I think many are either going to drop the series or continue watching it because of that. But however, though, this episode, once again, it kind of reinstates the point that this is a rom-com about gamers. For instance, a romance rom-com about gamers and their misunderstandings, and they just need to sit down and talk. And this series works, actually. It really does work for the very fact that gamers, or especially these gamers in this series, they don't really know how to talk with each other. Because you know when you read or watch a series like a rom-com or something, or any type of drama romance series, you have it to where the characters, they don't know how to talk with each other. Like, okay, let's give a good example. Let's say there's the main male, main female character. They're kind of, you can see that they're in love with each other, and it's obvious that eventually they will get together. However, some drama pops up to where either the main female character or the main male character, they get upset with the other character, and this could all be settled if they were just to sit down and talk with each other, because that settles a lot of problems. However, since they don't know how to sit down and talk with each other, it leads to the drama increasing. And in this case, that's what the series is doing. It's following that cliche. However, the way the series is structured, it actually makes sense. Because when you have a series that's like a regular romance and drama and all that, it doesn't make sense for a character not to sit down and talk with someone. It just legit doesn't make sense. Like, just sit down and fucking talk to this person and explain why you're upset, and then go on from there. However, not many characters do that. And in this case, gamers, since they are gamers, and these characters have shown that they're loners, they don't really socialize with a lot of people, that obviously they wouldn't know how to communicate properly with others. They wouldn't know how to, you know, talk about their problems or what is currently bugging them. And so the misunderstandings will get worse and worse as time goes on. And so this series kind of gives logic to why the characters will not talk. Because these type of characters, from what we've seen, it just makes sense. It fits their characters of why they wouldn't go out of their way and communicate. So, I appreciate this series for that. I really appreciate gamers for that, and making it kind of realistic to why these characters won't just fucking sit down and say something to each other, because they're socially awkward. So, anyways, getting into the main point of this episode, once again, more comedy, more misunderstandings, and oh my god, like, I love these characters, and I love this series. It actually is very entertaining for what it is about, because normally, when I watch these type of series, I am already bored. I'm already either bored, or I just want to not talk about it and just watch it in my spare time, because it's just like, it feels like the same thing I've seen in the past. However, somehow the way this series is structured, I am very entertained. I'm enjoying the series, and I've had a lot of fun with it with every single episode, and the characters are very lively. I especially love the characters, our main male character, Amano, and also the other girl, the blue-haired girl, Hoshi, I think that's her name. But basically, I love those two characters. The reason why is because of how similar they are. And that's very funny, because this is something I've seen in the past, like with people, where if you have two people that are very similar, sometimes either A, they're going to be like compatible where they're going to want to talk all the time, or they're just going to be butting heads constantly. It's like, sometimes the same personality, you're just going to clash. You're going to go up against each other, because those personalities, even though they're the same, they're not going to work with each other. And in this case, that's exactly what's going on with Amano and Hoshi, is that since they're so similar with their, like, I guess their viewpoints are a little bit different, but they're just so similar to the way they view things, that it makes it to where they clash constantly, and they they will stand firm and be stubborn with whatever they love, and that is what was showcased in this episode, especially when we saw the flashback, like a brief flashback of Amano, and saying why, like, he loves games or something, and then we see the exact same thing said from our blue-haired girl, and I'm like, oh my god, these characters are the exact same, just different genders, and the way he's like, you guys are all star-crossed and all that, like, I agree with Uehara. I completely agree with him, because I'd be with that man. I would. I was like, why can't you guys just get along? I mean, yeah, you obviously like the same thing. You obviously play together, because, I mean, Mono and our main male character Mono, they play the same game, even though they're completely unaware. And also, you have it to our main character plays Hoshi's games, too, and he's unaware. So just all these little things is absolutely funny. However, there was one very serious moment in this episode that really caught me by surprise, and I thought it was very inspirational, and it was something that really just makes you think about the genre as a whole, for instance, rom-coms, or any type of anime or game. When Amano said his viewpoint on how he expects nothing from the game developers, I was like, why would you say that? It's kind of fucked up. But then he explained his point, and I'm like, oh. He basically was like, he doesn't care. He doesn't expect anything from the game developer because he wants the game developer to do what they want. He doesn't care if the game developer wants to make something that's a hit, like, you know, popular, or make it to what they want. It's just long as if the developer makes what they want to make, that's all he cares about. And he doesn't care if they throw in cliches or if it's something completely original. He just wants them to be able to make what they want to make, as long as if they're having fun with it. And I truly thought that was, like, interesting how the series, or Amano, said that. It was kind of like the series was becoming very self-aware with what it's been doing. Because if we want to be honest here, these episodes have been very cliche. Like, oh yes, they've legit been cliche. The entire stuff with this episode and in episode 3, very cliche, because all the misunderstandings and stuff is typical in like a drama, romance, rom-com series, so it's to be expected. However, I do appreciate how this series tries to let us know that it is aware of these things, but at the same time, though, the writer of the series is aware and just wants to have fun. And that's exactly what you can see from the way this series or this episode was displayed. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about this latest episode of Gamers? I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.